In this country, though, I was rewarded in a weird way. I have to preface this story by saying I'm not in this country legally. Now, last summer, I got this thing in the mail, this commandment, and I open it up, and it's from the Queen. And it says, "You, Richard Hall, are commanded to come to Buckingham Palace on such and such a day in June to help celebrate Americans who have made a cultural contribution to Britain." Me. Look at me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking to history students and throwing my hat at people. So I show it to my lovely wife, my wonderful wife, and I say, "Look at this. This says commanded. Does that mean I have to go?" And she says, "Oh, no, you don't have to go, but you should go to Buckingham Palace. It's better than Graceland." That's the best argument I ever heard for going. She says, "You know, the Queen won't be there. They're never at these things. Just go. It'd be free drinks, lots of portraits to look at, and fantastic furniture." And I figure, well, I've been to Graceland. I didn't meet the King. Now I'll go to Buckingham Palace and not meet the Queen. That balances out perfectly, right? It didn't say +1 either. So I put on a suit, I go to Buckingham Palace, and I go up to the guard, I have my commandment, and I show it to him, and I said, "I have this commandment." And the guard says, "Yeah, go on through the gates. It's around back." And he turns away. He doesn't even escort me. He says, "Yeah, through the gates and around back," like it's a basement jazz club. Knock 3 times and ask for Roscoe. And they just let me through, and I'm walking across the pebbly part. I can hear all the tourists at the, right up against the fence going, "Look at that crazy person. There's a crazy man inside them. He's going to go through a bedroom window. Trust me, he's nuts." So I go underneath and around the back and up the stairs into this huge ballroom, and here is the gathering of Americans who have made a cultural contribution to Britain, ladies and gentlemen. The only person I recognize in the entire room is Don Johnson from Miami Vice. All the people you would imagine made a cultural... Nope, just Don Johnson. And he's porked out, too, these days. He's got that William Shatner kind of 10 pounds of shit stuffed into a 5-pound bag kind of look, right? Big blue linen suit going, "I'm in Guys and Dolls in the West End. Woo, come on down." And I think, holy shit, it's Don Johnson. This is already worth the trip. I'm trying to be his friend, and he's kind of ignored me. But, I shook his hand, and I was just thinking, I stayed for about an hour, and I thought, all right, that's it. That's a good afternoon. I met Don Johnson. I had a few drinks. Woo. Got to see the inside of Buckingham Palace. So I'm about to leave, and then I hear this. "All right, everyone, queue up. You're going to meet the Queen." I'm thinking, oh, holy shit. I wasn't expecting this. There's obviously some etiquette involved. I don't know what it is. And I'm trying to sneak out, but they kind of herd me back in, right? So I just figure, well, whatever Don Johnson does, that's what I'll do. He must know his way around these situations. So I get behind him in the queue, and we're moving forward. And then all of a sudden, these 2 huge security guys just sort of materialize on either side of me. And I'm moving forward, and they're moving along beside me. And finally, one of them reaches over and says, "Your name Richard Hall?" I went, "Yeah." "You a comedian?" "Yeah." "All right, if the Queen says anything to you, don't say anything back to her." Nothing. Not a word. I think, what are they picking on me for? Well, they're going to pick on me because I'm a comedian and they think I'm going to say something smart. Hey, the stamps don't do you justice, sweetheart. You are hot. Who's the old guy, huh? You seeing anyone these days? I don't want to say anything to her. So we go around the corner, and there's a guy, a greeter, who steps you forward and introduces you to the Queen. So the greeter steps Don Johnson forward, and up to the Queen, and he says, "Your Majesty, Don Johnson, actor." She looks him right in the eye, and she says, "Tubbs?" He says, "No, Crockett. Crockett, Your Majesty." I was Crockett. You could just see the disappointment in his face. He was going, "I was Crockett for 9 years." "Bat? What's wrong with can't you?" And I'm just thinking, holy shit, the Queen watches TV. Even if she got the characters backwards, at least I know she watches TV. And now I'm thinking, they're going to step me forward and they go, "Your Majesty, here's Mo the bartender from The Simpsons. Hope you can hit it off perfectly. Should have something to talk about." I'm thinking, yeah! I don't even get that dignity. They step me forward, and the greeter says, "Your Majesty, Rich Hall, comedian." And she doesn't say anything, but Prince Philip leans forward and says, "Canadian?" These security guards are on me so fast, they just whisk me away like that, right? Under my armpits, my legs are dangling off the ground. They take me down this hallway. "What are you doing here?" "I was invited." "No, this is for Americans." "I am American." "He said you were Canadian." I went, "No, I'm a comedian." The security guy says, "Oh, so that was a joke, was it?" I never said a word. And then they kicked me out. They just walked me right out. All people at the gates are going, "There, they got him, there he is, we caught him." So I have no idea how I'm recognized in this country. Maybe I should have even told that story, ladies and gentlemen. You did not see me here tonight. If anyone asks, you saw Lionel Richie on Live at the Apollo. All right? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You've been fantastic.